T-minus 90 seconds and counting. All systems are go. We're about 90 seconds from the launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. T-minus 60 seconds and counting. We are transferring to orbiter internal power at this time. Discovery is now running off its 3 onboard fuel cells. Coming up on a go for auto sequence start. And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. T-minus 17 seconds and counting. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
Separation confirmed. Guidance now converging. Discovery's onboard computers commanding the main engine nozzles to swivel, aiming the shuttle for its precise target in space for main engine cutoff.
Should have a good forward leg now it is. Okay, you sound good. Discovery Houston, negative return. Copy, a negative return.
Good morning, you filthy apes. Welcome to AMC and ADD, where we buy, we hold, and we screw those hedges. Screw the hedges! For those of you guys who've been around for a long time on this channel, this is how I used to start out the shows. Little Claire de Lune. To the moon. It's been a while. It's been a long, long while. It's time for a break. spring break. I'm going to go through all the data with you today, and I think I'm going to end the show really, really early today. I'm going to take one of those breaks that I always tell you guys to take. I'm going to step away. I don't see anything crazy happening right now. Volume is only at 11.13 thousand shares having been traded. It's probably going to be a very typical day today. Nothing unusual. Last night, GME's earning reports came out. Yep, this is them right here. Yep, GME affecting AMC with their earnings reports. Go figure. This is GME right here that you're looking at. I don't even think this thing's trading. I don't even think we're getting any trades going through here. 709. Okay, there's like been 2 trades in the last 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 6 minutes, 6 minutes. It's going to be a slow day. It's going to be very, very slow. It might be one of those days where you should take a step away and just take a breather. Enjoy life. Do something different. We don't have to constantly watch this. We have our convictions. We know what we're doing. We set alerts. If something crazy happens, I come back. I'll start the show back up, and we'll cover it. But I just don't see anything crazy happening today. Jeff's like, wait a minute, I got a price prediction though. I'll still get price predictions. I'll probably even do the morning intro into the stock market opening. Calm before the storm. It could be, yeah. I mean, there's definitely. I mean, look at the market right now. The entire market is just red, absolutely red. I mean, let's look what's going on here. On the eastern side, what do we have? We had green. There was some red. Nothing crazy. But I've got the kids off from school for one more day. So might be a good chance for me to go out and spend some time with the family. It's kind of a last minute decision, honestly. Yeah, those are the rabbit pellets, Danny. These are the rabbit pellets here. Usually, a lot of times we see this when there's just not a whole lot of liquidity. Once the 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume hits, that's usually when they start doing their loaning of shares, and then you start seeing more active trading once the 7 a.m. volume hits. Yeah, that's what we did last night, but Donkey Kong. We went out last night and we went to like I think it was called like Pin Strikes or something like that. It reminded me of like a Dave and Buster's kind of place. And we did a little. We were there to celebrate a birthday for somebody from one of my wife's coworkers or ex-coworkers. She moved apartments, but um, so we went out there and had a good time. And yeah, but I'm gonna shut the show down though. I think once I walk away from it, just because I don't want people to think, go like, "Where's Casey at? Where's Casey at?" Just shut it down, not have it like sitting there constantly running. Let's see here. Let me log into Fidelity. I even got my dress down shirt today on. I got my Bill Murray shirt on. My IDGAF shirt. This is my IDGAF shirt. Keto says you are with family. That's so true, Keto. It is so true. Tim, thank you, man. I appreciate understanding. Yeah, you're right, Keto. I know. Jill wants me to play La Campanella on the piano. Let's see here. Let's see if I can put that up with some background music here. It's like I've got it playing in my ears, and then I forgot that I had turned it down, so I couldn't really hear it. You couldn't really hear it. Here you go. Let me turn it on my head. That song seems like it might give a pianist anxiety. All right, refreshing Vortex. Let's see if we got 100% for our 28th day in a row. Yep, another 100%, 28 days in a row. And day over day price change was negative 0.26. Unfortunately, that's going to wipe out our run. Off exchange. Yesterday for off exchange, 49.90 and 13.01 were the last two numbers that we saw just before we ended the day. Let's see what the final numbers were. 47.84 and 12.65. So really interesting thing. What I've been noticing a lot lately is that the last hour is less. The off exchange is less heavily utilized during the last hour than any other period of time, and they've always called that the power hour. And I'm wondering if there isn't something to it. Why specifically that hour? I'm starting to wonder if there's not some kind of rule about how much they can trade when they can trade. And we do see volume pick up during that period of time too. Kind of curious about that. I'm gonna have to start doing some digging into it. Our estimated current short share interest of the free float is 21.23%. Moving to the top right hand side of the screen there, you'll see institutional ownership at 187.831 million. Let's give that a refresh. Still the same. We're in that gray period right now where nobody's reporting 13Fs. Max pain. What did it drop down to? 16.5? No, 16. I think it's going to hold at 16. 60, it actually went up, 1650. And refreshing the options. At $95 strike price. Yesterday there was 86.5 thousand contracts. Today there's 86.5 thousand contracts. Highest amount of open interest. For the calls. At a $16 strike price. Yesterday there was 21.7 thousand contracts. Today there is 23.4. For the puts, at a $15 strike price, there was 27.7 thousand, or sorry, there's 26.9 thousand contracts yesterday. Today there's 27.7. So the market's really kind of looking at like closing somewhere today between 15 and 16. Not a whole lot different from where we're at right now, which is 1494. Let's take a look at Vortex. Utilization. That's what 28 straight days of utilization being at 100% looks like. On loan amount increasing yet again from 134.2 to 135.2, so a million increase. A million increase probably wouldn't be enough to keep the on loan average age per day from going up. But let's see if they closed out any positions. Nope, no closing out of any positions. It did in fact go up just slightly. And short share interest of the free float also slightly going up. Orders by Fidelity customers. AMC and GME are not in the top 10. GME currently volume-wise is sitting in 15th on the order books. Look at every other stock up here. It's insane. Make sure I got you on the right page. This is pretty nutty. GME is just absolutely swamping out every other stock here. The only other stock that has this many trade orders going through is Berkshire Hathaway, B. It's the only other one that has as high as many orders as GameStop. GameStop at 82 to 18. 82% buys to 18% sales. Even Berkshire is not that good at 80-20. AMC sitting down here at 29th in volume. Yesterday we had a 60-40. We ended the day at a very minimum amount that I like to see, 60-40 buy to sell ratio, which is good. That's amazing. A lot of retail getting out of their positions. Retail is making the shift. I think retail's starting to see it. SSR trips today at $13.67. Shares available to borrow. They just started borrowing them. Most of everything from last night was all returns. Here comes some of the borrowing here. Let's pull out the calculator and add it all up. Yesterday, the total amount of borrowing was 2.75 million, which was up like a quarter million from Wednesday. Anybody pinch anybody yesterday? Let's see how many shares they borrowed. Let's call that 415. Uh, 1.25 million shares having been borrowed so far this morning. The fee is 1.3% that has not gone back down. 27.1 thousand contracts are in the money on the calls. 112,000 contracts are out of the money on the puts. Like I said, most of eastern side of the world was green. That which was down was not down by much. IWM is down 0.86, Tesla is down 0.9, Amazon is down 0.65, Cinemark is down 1.41, Doge is down 1.72, Bitcoin is down 1.61, GME is down 7.79, HYMC is up 9.42, Hood is down 0.9, and AMC is down 1.51%. We currently have 3 million more. Yesterday, our total inflow versus outflow, there's 3 million more dollars in outflow than inflow. And we're at 12.9 thousand contracts having been, contracts, what am I saying? 12.9 thousand shares having been traded so far for the day today. On the daily, we currently have more selling pressure than buying pressure with an RSI 42.58. On the hourly, we have more selling pressure than buying pressure with an RSI of 49.64. And on a 30-minute interval, we have more selling pressure than buying pressure with an RSI of 47.28. And a 5-minute interval, more buying pressure than selling pressure with an RSI of 59.59. Peter says retail is leaving GME and moving to AMC, I think is what you meant. I don't see that. I wouldn't say that's necessarily true. You know, Danny, I think the same thing. Pianist. That is, it's a pianist. It's a piano, it's a pianist. It's a guitar, you're a guitarist. Why do they have to be a pianist? I think they just want to say it. That's all it is. I'm completely with you. 100% with you on that one. I think it's just an excuse to say something bad. Good morning, Benjamin. Sammy, hey, you guys. I went to, when I was a music major in college, Donkey Kong, you know, you always end up, when you're part of your department, they always ask you to do like extra credit things. So there was in San Diego, where I was going to college, there was a Baroque competition for children, and you know, here I am studying music, for as you know, I'm in college studying music. So you know, I'm a decent piano player, not great, just decent, as more of a guitarist than anything. And so I go to this competition, and they've asked us to be impartial judge at this competition. And I have never seen so much talent coming out of like 6-year-old kids. It was insane. And the things that they were playing, absolutely nutty. And I was just sitting there going like, what am I doing with my life? Why didn't I start when I was 6? It was I don't know, it was just insane to me. I've never seen so many kids with so much talent playing the piano. But there was a little something off about every single one of the kids. They just didn't seem like they were there. They seemed like they were robots. I don't know how to quite explain it, but they weren't happy. They weren't kids. And so and I felt like, man, these kids they've made a trade. They've traded off childhood um, for becoming great at something. And it was really kind of interesting. Absolutely, Mohammed. Let's check it out. Today is a triple witching day, 2 weeks. That is correct. There's a lot of options out there. Quarterly options expiring today. But man, I'll tell you what, I've never seen so much talent in young kids in one spot ever. It was absolutely insane. It was insane, Joe. You're saying it sounded like 10-year-old Chinese kids with 20 years of music experience. It was insane. It really made me question why I was doing what I was doing. I felt like, surely if there's kids out there that can play the piano like this, and there must be kids that can play the guitar like this, and here I am with a fraction of the talent that these little children, 6 to 10-year-olds, uh, were playing these classical pieces. I was just sitting there going like, this is nuts. What am I doing? Oh, here's the other thing. There's a difference between somebody giving you a set piece of music and you playing it versus having some kind of objective creativity. And the kids didn't have the creativity because I had a chance to be able to talk to a couple of the kids on the side, and I asked them to, do you ever write music? No, none of them ever wrote their own pieces. They never had anything that they wrote for themselves. And so they were just literally repeating, rinse and repeating what it was that had been taught to them. So it was really kind of one of those weird instances where I was like, wow, um, if only they had that spark of creativity. And I think that trading off that childhood of being a child and having fun and expanding the mind beyond just rinse and repeat didn't allow them to have creativity in their life. And it was kind of sad. It was sad to see that. Let's take a look at GME on Ortex. I think I value creativity more than I value um, copy and paste. Copy pasta. Let's take a look at the GME's numbers just like we look at ours. So utilization first off, was theirs on the 8th as well? Yep, their utilization spiked up on the 8th as well. So they're also sitting at 100% utilization for 28 trading days. Let's take a look at on loan amount driving up. It's not driving up very fast, but it's definitely heading upwards. On loan average age per day, also driving up. No dip on this one yet. They really need to see a big dip before they can see a big price run. Short share interest of the free float also driving up. Let's see how it compares to the past. It's pretty low compared to where it was before it ran up in January. Loans were pretty low too in comparison. Failure delivers aren't there. But the security lending volume had a little bit of spike. See, this is what I was talking about with GME. Like it looks like it's in the infancy of the beginning stages of where it was a while back. Back here. It's getting there though. It is definitely getting back up there. You can tell that they managed to cover some of their positions or close some of their positions, but not all of them. And since they didn't close them all, they're starting to gain back up as well. So it's getting up there. Yeah, I'm gonna take a spring break today, Pebbles. I'm gonna go spend some time with the family. This is the last day that they have off from school. Hey, look at that. Windows says I need to reinstall my latest updates. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the day off, and once the market opens and I have a chance to kind of like dive into some of our numbers, maybe right around um, 10 a.m. Eastern, so 9 a.m. Central. I'm probably gonna end the show, and then if nothing crazy happens throughout the day, if something crazy happens throughout the day, I'll come back on, restart it back up, and start talking about it. But I think I'm gonna take the day off today. Spend some time with the family, not this family, but my family, my blood family. Danny said, "Mi amo es Frioles." I forget what Frioles is. My name is Frioles. And Nosa said, "Well, it depends on what you want to say. In any case, it's wrong." Thick says, "Give me your YouTube login and I'll host the show." I'll tell you what. If you want to take it, if you want to take a shot at it, Thick, I can leave the show running and we can just do a Discord. If anybody wants to take a shot at running the show, that's cool. We could do that. You can come on and why not? You want to come on here? I'll leave the show running. We'll put you on Discord. We'll get you a little video up. You can be Casey for a day if you really want to do it. Everybody's be like, "Who is this guy?" What happened to Casey? You got to make sure and get that. You have to have a little Bob Ross. You have to generate the Bob Ross inside of you. We got about 18 more minutes until we see the pokey stick of volume. It's really, I think you have to be a unique individual to be able to talk to yourself. I mean, I know I'm talking to you guys, but you're not sitting here in front of me. So I'm reading a chat box and a live chat. I'm reading a live chat, and really, it feels like I'm having a one-way conversation in a sense. Yeah, multiple. Absolutely, you could, Danny. If there's some of you guys who are off, and we could put up a Discord and multiples of you coming in and talking all at once. Absolutely, I'm down. I'm down, Sammy. I'm completely down. I've got a Discord. If you want to contact me through Twitter, we can set it up, and I can give you the Discord link, and we could set something like that up where we all just kind of shoot the shit for a little bit and just kind of talk about everything live instead of through uh, a live chat. We can actually have a live chat. It is. It is, Danny. So I'll tell you I'll tell you why I have this special skill set. I was an only child for 5 years. My brother was 5 years behind me. So because there was a 5 year separation between me and my brother, it, we didn't really have much in common. And when I was 10, he was 5. So I had a lot of free time to spend playing by myself. Um, and well, I mean, I did have a lot of friends too, but uh, I mean, I used to play chess against myself. That's one thing that I used to do. Uh, you can actually really improve your chess playing abilities by playing chess with yourself. Um, but I guess maybe that's where the skill set comes from that I just talk to myself all the time. And Joe wants to host the show. It don't matter, Thick. It doesn't matter. Hey, it doesn't matter who you are. You can do this. You can do this. Oh, Danny, I did that too. I played Texas Hold'em with myself as well, and pretend like I didn't know what the other person had. I raise. How dare you, sir? Ah, you must have a good hand. You guys, I'm not crazy, I promise. But there's a way to play Texas Hold'em by yourself, and try to uh, place bets without looking at the other cards. So you deal out the cards, you don't look at the other cards, and then you try to place a bet based off of your hand instead, and then you try not to remember what the other cards are. It's actually a way to do it. Casey, I used to make up short stories and throw. Oh, why would you throw them away, man? See, that's what I'm talking about, Dick. I don't know if you were on a little bit ago when I was talking about these kids, these like 6 to 10-year-old kids that were playing Baroque pieces at a competition. Um, they had no creativity, zero. They had infinite talent, but no creativity. If you're writing stuff thick, keep it. Do not throw it away. Absolutely keep it. You have no idea what your value is worth until you're dead. It's a sad truth, but that's how it is as an artist. You have no idea what your full potential is until you're dead. So keep that stuff. Keep it, and you never know. One day you might actually. I worked one of the jobs that I had last before I came started doing the show. I worked with two different individuals who were published. They wrote books, and apparently it's a lot easier now to get published than it used to be. Sammy, my Twitter's at AMKC Shaw. And I'll write it down here in just a second. I'm cleaning the glasses. I can't believe I read off all the numbers to you guys without putting my glasses on first. Can you believe that? How rude of me. It's probably why I was like leaning in like this on the computer, like reading. I really don't have that bad of vision. It just makes it easier. Oh, Sammy, what you would have to do is you just need to download Discord, and then I port you into the YouTube channel. It's you wouldn't need YouTube at all. Let's see here. I think it's at AMKC Shaw. But yeah, Thick, don't throw those stories away, man. Keep them. Hold on to them. It's part of you. Donkey Kong says, now I have a seeing eye dog. Wait, what? I played with myself for years. I wish I hadn't read that out of order. I was like, wait a minute, what happened? Maybe it was better that I'd read it out of order. Can we get a Discord group or something in case YouTube goes down during MOASS? Yes, that's one of the plans. So the I think I have that in my description, don't I? Let me see here. You know what? I'm gonna go through and modify my description box because I don't think I have it in here. Emergency backup Twitch account Casey Shaw. So let's see, yeah. Let me do this. I'm gonna add to my description right now. So the first emergency backup will be Twitch. The secondary will be Discord. So if something should happen here, I will start a Twitch stream, and then if something happens to the Twitch stream, I'm going to do a Twitter post with stating where I'm going to be posting, or I'll be posting the link to the Discord on Twitter, or I could start a space call, one of the two. If Twitter's up, I might as well just start a space call. And the nice thing about a space call is that we can all talk. So I can bring people up to the top of the channel, and everybody can talk in a space call. I know as a lyricist, thick myself, um, it's really easy to go back and look at your work and go like, oh man, that was crap, and then like just tear up the paper and crumple it up and throw it in the trash can. But um, I found out through lots of different people that over time that sometimes the it's the group of lyrics as a whole may be bad, but there may be a line from one specific uh, part of a verse or a chorus or whatever that you can use someplace else. And so when you come up with these ideas or thoughts, keep them because then you can always use them later. You can use bits and pieces from all of your pieces of work and make a masterpiece. It's like it's like every single song in the entire world's already written and it's in one book called a dictionary. But it's not until you take the bits and pieces from the dictionary and put them into a specific set form that you get a masterpiece. So that's what you're doing when you're being creative. When you're being creative, you're sitting down, you're putting down your thoughts, your emotions, and sometimes that group as a whole just doesn't fit. But you can take a piece of it and apply it to some other piece, and it becomes a masterpiece. Twitter. Twitter is required for a space call. 'Danny, you're married now, huh? Congratulations. 5 more minutes till our pokey stick of volume comes in here, guys. We were at that pinstripe place or whatever it's called, and last night we were having a good time, and I started fading a little bit there, and was like, I need to go. My wife, we had taken two vehicles to get there, and I told her, it's like, I'm not gonna last, and so me and my son, we left early. It's the same thing though. So yeah, just blatant manipulation, uh, suppressing. So the thought process I think is when you look at something like this, and I know I'm looking at AMC and not GME, but when you're looking at something like this, well, let's look at GME. When you see something like this, right, and people are in the aftermarket hours and they get reports on what the earnings are when they finally get released, you look at it and you say like, oh, how far is this going to drop? Maybe I'm not going to buy this until it hits the bottom. So really what this is an attempt to try and keep investors from investing into it with the news. They're basically trying to destroy any kind of impact that the news could possibly have that would be positive by dropping the price really, really hard during that period of time. And that story that I've linked several times here on the page, I don't know if you've read it or not, but yeah, it talks about these kind of things being used both. It actually says both positive and negative news are used as attacks to be able to drop the price. I was just noticing we don't have any counts in our aftermarket. Oh, here's one right here. Any TD? There's only one TDS in our aftermarket hours. Oh, that's really cool, Danny. Congratulations. Two minutes until our pokey stick of volume. We have, yesterday my prediction on volume was 10 to 30 million shares for the day, and we had 24 million traded. So today's going to be the same thing. I can tell you right now, without even seeing the pokey stick of volume, 10 to 30 million is going to be the prediction. Good morning, James. I mean, it's the exact opposite, James, of what it would look like on the top side of a squeeze. So I've always told you guys that, how to know when you're getting towards the top end of a squeeze is seeing day over day volume starting to drop. That's how you know you're getting towards the end. Well, inversely, when you're getting closer to the bottom, volume will get day over day lower and lower until it starts to rise. So that's really what you're looking for, is you're looking for volume starting to drop to all-time lows. That really does signify. If you think about it inversely, volume dropping, day over day. Whoa, that thing always surprises me every time it pops up. That 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume there. Oh man, it's only 5,000. There it goes, 20,000 now. Okay, so 17 in volume going into it, and it's double. It's basically just slightly more than double. But yeah, volume day over day decreasing is a good sign. It tells you you're getting closer and closer to the end before it starts to swing up. Hey, I actually did get pretty good sleep last night. I haven't had my coffee. That's why I'm really yawning this morning. I haven't had my coffee yet, but for those of you who are just now tuning in, I'm going to take the day off today. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to look at the first. I'm going to do the first run through of numbers. So like a half hour. I'll be here till a half hour after market opens, and then I'm going to shut the stream down. And I'm going to take a family day for spring break. It's kind of a last minute decision. Actually, I didn't make this. I didn't even come up with this idea of taking the day off until I woke up this morning. I woke up, did the same thing I do every morning. I looked at the volume. I was like, well, that's going to be another low volume day today. I was like, well, the kids, this is their last day off for spring break. Maybe we should go do something fun. I don't sound rested. That's just because I just haven't had the coffee yet. Thick, you're welcome, man. I'm a creator like you. I'm a creator like you. I think a lot of us, I tend to think a lot of us are creators. Sometimes we just need a little push, you know? I'm gonna get some coffee. I said I hadn't gotten coffee. I'm gonna get some coffee. I'm actually not gonna take a break this morning since I'm gonna end the show early. I'm not gonna take a break this morning. I'm just gonna sit here right through, and just spend the entire morning with you guys, and then end the show at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So let me grab some coffee, and I'll be right back. All right, the coffee's brewing. Let's move up some of our numbers here. 1367 is SSR trip point. That's going to be slightly down. I want you guys to notice 1485 has kind of been an integral part of a support line over the last, well, basically ever since it broke through. So I think the initial breakthrough was probably right here. And some of you may be wondering what the heck is special about that value of 1485. That's the number that we needed to break through in order for us to have a reversal on a synthetic price failure. Our last synthetic price failure, hold on one second. Our last synthetic price failure was from $19.43 down to $12.92, which was a 33.5% drop in price. In order for you to have a reversal, the price needs to go up at least 15%, in which case this is it, 1485. But it's got to have like a really good hard push through. It can't just be like this right here. This is no good. This doesn't count. This is just like a touch and go. And it was. It was a touch and go. And they tried to push it back down. But then when market opened up on, what day is this? The 16th, 3 days ago, it really started to push up, and it did drive through the number really hard and went all the way up to 1569. This is when you start tracking new highs. When you break through that 15% threshold, that's when you start tracking new highs. Then price fell down, and they actually did manage to push it underneath, dropped it all the way to 1423, but then price again had a really severe reaction off of that and drove right back up and through it. Ever since then, 1485 has been our new support line. And that's why it's really important to drive. In order to start counting new highs, you have to really drive through that support line of 15%. And it does typically, it holds to a certain point, but it also resets synthetic price failures, which means that we could drop 20, 35% on another downswing at any given time. Oh, coffee is done brewing. I'll be right back. I gotta tell you a story. I forgot about this. So I get a text from my brother last night. he knows that I'm involved in being an AMC ape. He himself is not one. Um, but he has a little bit of an understanding about what's going on. But I just wanted to read you something here. He sent me a text at 4:34, so basically like an hour and a half after market close. And he goes, "Hey, big bro, just heard AMC shorts are beginning to gain. How does that affect you?" And I was like, looked at it. And I was like, "What? Just heard AMC shorts are beginning to gain. How does that affect you?" I couldn't figure out what the heck he meant by that. And I started thinking about it. I was like, well, the earning reports are coming out. Maybe he's talking about the earning reports. So I asked him a question. I was like, what do you mean by that? And while I was waiting for a response, I started looking into it. And basically, what he was hearing is that um, wait, where did the message go? Oh, um, earning reports. Earning reports from Citadel is that they've made more money this year, this last year, than any other year before. And I was like, oh, I see where he's getting this. I see what's going on here. So I took a screenshot of a picture, sent it to him of the statement of financial condition of Citadel, and I said, sure, yeah, they made more this last year than any other year before, but they're not highlighting the fact that they're so leveraged with securities that are not yet purchased for fair value that while they're reporting that their total assets is 79, let me make sure I'm getting this right, in millions. So if that's millions, that's got to be billions. So yes, they made 79 billion. The total worth value net worth is 79 billion. But when you subtract out their liabilities, they only made $4 billion this last year. When you subtract out all of their, and that's at fair market value. That's they're up $4 billion based off of fair market value. They're not going to get these shares at fair market value. they're, I'm sorry, but they are not going to get. They're saying that there's 60. Get this number. I love this number. This is perfect. 65 billion, 703 million dollars leveraged against that 79 billion dollars that they made. And I'm like, sure. You can claim that you've made 79 billion dollars, but when you have 65 billion and there's other fees and stuff that's included in there. I'm not saying all the numbers, but they're not telling the full truth. They're just not, and they're talking about they're talking about um, their position under fair market value. They're not going to get fair market value for these shares. So when somebody, and that's just Citadel, guys. That's just Citadel. They're not even number one on our list. I think it's Susquehanna. So I got a laugh out of that. I got a good laugh out of it, but it tells me those are the kind of things. Those are the kind of things that we're fighting against right now. We have extreme market manipulation. On top of that, we have media attacks, and yeah, it's quite interesting. Yeah, they definitely can. James, I'm reading what you had said earlier. Anytime a synthetic price failure, the way that those kind of work is that they it's like taking two steps forward and one step back. They can drive it down two steps and then drive it back up one, or they can take one step down and drive it back up two. You never know which way it's going to go, but for the most part, um, it's always going to go down, and then back up some portion, right? They're always trying to stair step it down because they want to try and cause the most amount of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in investors so they can get them to leave their positions. So that's what they're really that's the full intent. If they drop it too fast in one direction, then they risk people buying in on a huge dip. If they so that's why they do stair stepping action. They shock and awe and then just let it ride for a while. Let it ride sideways. Nothing happened here. Get bored, you know, complacency, and then shock and awe. Let it come back up a little bit. Let it ride for a little while. Shock and awe. More media, more shilling. No, they can't see the well. You can't just add with an algorithm. You can't just add an exception. It could cost you. It could cost. It could cost them billions of dollars. It has to be something that's tried and true. I do think. I do think that there could be like a disqualifier radio button that they could probably add into the. Oh, my dog sees something outside. He's whining. I think that there is a disqualifier. Like they could potentially add something into their algorithm to where they could um, like force the algorithm to ignore a an aspect of the stock. But again, anytime you change something like that, you make big risks. Um, I don't. I feel like you might have some kind of engineering background. Notice I'm not sure what. I have a feeling you kind of numbers and stuff like that. I can tell. So I'm not sure where that really comes from, but you don't make changes without doing little tests first, right? Like you don't want to just go in there, make a modification, and then just be like, okay, let it run. It's something that takes a long time to test and make sure that it's going to work just right. So what I would say is that um, if they did add something like that in there, it's going to take time for them to add it in, and we just had this happen. Like, or if they haven't already added in, it's going to be an advanced feature that potentially not all companies have, and so a lot of companies that are playing keep up with the big guys are gonna be behind the pace. So they won't have the ability. They're just gonna be making trades off of what other companies are doing, the bigger fish. So it's I think it could be done. It'll probably take time. It could already be in place, and it may not take any time at all. But there's going to be other people out there who are lagging behind in making those kind of changes. Good morning, DJ. DJ, I think you don't understand what's going on here. You know, a lot of people are here to partake in something that's going to net way more than. How about this? How about this, DJ? Why don't you go back to what the price was of AMC of 20 December of 2020 and tell me how much we're up right now. Go back to 2020, December of 2020, and tell me how much we're up right now. Yes, Lisa, I saw that last night. You're right. Amazon did buy MGM. I don't know what to. I think it's for movie rights, like DJ is saying. So, you know, they're trying to get into the movie business. They really want in on the movie business really bad, and I don't know what to make of it yet. I don't know that it means anything bad for us, particularly at this point. Uh, we'll have to see how it plays out. Hayden says, "I'm coming your way. I have an Earl Campbell breakfast burrito and a hot cup and a cup of hot pickles for you at the airport." Sounds good, Hayden. Bruno is my dog's name. Yeah. I definitely think that they could, well, it wouldn't be like an ignore, it would be more like it would be parsing out specifically a specific set of data. But man, I'll tell you what, Nosa, you know what it is you're talking about. I know you do. Y- how many times have you ever been in a situation where IT has added in a function into a systems and it doesn't work the way it's supposed to? And then they leave that over a weekend or something. You know, they turn it on and then it doesn't do what it's supposed to do all the time. All the time. So they could stand to lose billions of dollars without proper testing. So adding something like that right away, they wouldn't just put it in place. So GME was a mistake, but guess what? They did let it happen again. AMC ripped in June, and it will happen again. Now, the rules that are in place that the SEC has been approving over the last year is creating a situation where this can never happen again. So once this is over, this will be the last time that we ever have something like this happen again. Yeah, 20 to 40% chump change compared to what we're going to see. I will hold 300%, 500% is not enough, DJ. 500% is not. If you sat here and told me that I could make 500% in a year, I'd say that's not enough. I need more because that's what this is potentially going to. I believe this has capability of hitting way more than 500% gains. So if you sat here and told me that I could trade out of AMC and go start trading on the market and make 500%, I'd say nope, not enough. You're way low on your numbers. Pickles with hot pepper powder. Where are you in the airport like right now, Hayden? No, no, no. Yeah, absolutely. Now, it'd be fully possible, Otto and Nosa, for them to have already tested and have something like that set up and in place to where they can do that. But remember, these systems have been working for a very long time uh, without failures, and now all of a sudden they have failures. So I don't think that they have these kind of things in place. That's why this is going to be new. I don't think that they're going to have the ability to make these changes fast enough. In fact, I believe if you watch, um, there's a documentary on the 2008 crash, and I can't remember the name of what it's called, but they talk about how there was a slight systems change to some of the algorithms back in 2008, and that they suspect that those changes are exactly what caused the 2008 crash to start. It was possibly the catalyst, was that they actually did go in and modify the algorithms to probably ignore defaulting loans. That's probably exactly what they did, is they went in and altered the algorithms to ignore defaulting loans, and the entire order books just went empty. This dude who said he was working the floor on the market said uh, the market the order books just dumped. Everything dumped, and they had nothing going through. That's that's the kind of thing that they risk. Billions of dollars when they try to make modifications to those algorithms. I'm having a problem with the stream here, guys. Give me 1 second. Gotta try and fix it. James said 5,000%. I mean, that would be more in the range of what it is that we're talking about here. That would definitely be more in the range of what it is that we're talking about. And so when people sit here and tell you, if you ever hear anybody say like, "Oh, you guys, you're wasting your time. You could be making 20 to 40% a year in the market if all you did was just sell your AMC and go trade in the market and follow me." I laugh. I laugh, you silly child. You silly child that may think that that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna follow you, child, and make my 20 to 40% when I could make 5,000. No, thank you. I laugh in your general direction. See, the funny part about it to me is that part of the money that's gonna come from the 5,000% is all those people who are sitting there telling you that you were wrong, 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 is gonna be coming out of their pockets. The money that's going to be used to pay to give you your 5,000% is going to be coming directly out of their pockets. And they're going to be sit there left going like, what just happened? Why am I down so much? It's it's going to be devastating to a lot of people who thought that they were right, but didn't want to recognize what was truly going on in the marketplace. Yeah, no, I don't see that as FUD keto. Um, so let's take a look at Mudrick. I think that's probably the best thing to do. I'm hoping I can just type in capital. Maybe I should just stick to, because I probably can't spell it. I don't know how they spell it. Oh, okay, with an AL, because I can't spell. Let's look at Mudrick Capital's Management LP portfolio holdings. Let's just take a look. Try to decide which one to go with here. Let's go with portfolio holdings will be fine. That'll work. Holdings. Where do they have puts at? Hold on a second. I guess those will all be on the same page. Okay. So apparently, Mudrick only has their portfolio value. First off, is 727.5 million. So you tell me, is this big cheese or small cheese? Mudrick Capital. They have 13 positions that they hold. Big cheese or small cheese? Their reported earnings were actually in a decline in the later half of August, and then they picked in the later half of last year. They were in a decline in valuation, and then they started picking back up on the later half of December. But they have, according to this, they have 13 holdings. Their largest holding is with a company called GSAT or Global Star. They've got like it's showing like two different Highcroft holdings, which I'm really kind of confused by. I would assume I'm going to make this assumption. Again, big cheese or small cheese? $727 million. That's not huge. It's not a big company. It's just not. It's not even a billion. It's big. It's bigger than, say, for example, your firm that you can go down to downtown in your local city and sign up with, but it's not. It's by in the grand scheme of market positions in the entire market. I just got done showing you how many billions of dollars Citadel's worth. What was it, like 79 billion? Very small position here. So my guess is, seeing that they only have 13 positions open, is that Adam Aaron probably knows somebody, perhaps talks to somebody who's part of the Mudrick investment firm, and he may have had an idea that he wanted to potentially get into something that was commodities based, because these guys do talk. And if Mudrick was like, well, we're over here invested in gold, and if you want to be, they probably pitched it to him, just word of mouth, and it may have looked like a good investment for Adam Aaron as a commodity. But this is purely conjecture. I have no idea how it went down, really. But Mudrick Capital is not a big. This is not big cheese. It's just not. So, let me ask you, what's the concern? I got you down, Monty. 1413 to 1713. I feel like Keto gave his numbers earlier, and I feel like maybe I forgot to write them down. Let me look for them real quick here. Maybe not. So, do you guys remember there was like, let's look at Adam Aaron's. Well, I'll tell you a theory here. Just let me read through some of your stuff real quick. I'm kind of behind on reading on these. All right, so let's look at Adam Aaron's tweets because I want to show you guys something specifically about him. Let's see here. Let's go back to where is it? Give me 1 second. I didn't realize it was this far back. Wow. November. So there's 3 specific tweets that I'm thinking of. Here we go. Some of you suggested that the CEO of AMC Theaters, I've been playing chess while detractors played checkers. On the weekend that James Bond No Time to Die opens in the US, it feels more like AMC is playing three-dimensional chess to the naysayers. I say it loud, choke on that. One of the things that people noticed on this picture was that the pieces were gold and silver on here on this 4D chessboard or 3D chessboard. Gold and silver pieces. So that's number one. This tweet was posted on, when was this posted? October 7th. Then you got this one. Everybody's trying to figure out this one, including myself. I'm starting to think he's letting us know about commodities. And in this particular case, I think this one might be wood. Wood commodities. Wood or paper. Why would they need a paper commodity or wood commodity? Why would they need a paper commodity? Importantly, we've just hired a new AMC Vice President. Ellen Kopakin has a ton of brand management and grocery experience at PepsiCo, Frito-Lay, and Hostess brands. Paper commodities. I think they're going to be looking into either wood or paper commodity next. Oh, I got to take this phone call, guys. Give me a second. That was the doctor's office letting me know my lab results. I'm going to live. I'm going to live. Atypical, mild, and moderate. Let's see here. So, wood products. I think that's what they're going to go for next. They're going to need to package their popcorn. Their AMC Perfectly Popcorn. They're going to need to be able to package and send out their popcorn into the stores. And when that happens, they're going to need somebody to do the packaging for them. So I think that might be one of the next steps that we see is perhaps another commodity purchase into paper products or wood products, one of the two. No, I had my doctor's results come in from my doctor's appointment I went to the other day. GSAT. Yeah, let's check it out. I mean, that's what companies do, Jeff. They buy and sell stocks to make profits. That's what they do. They're not institutions are not here to hold for squeezes. It's not what they're that's not how they're designed to work. All right, let me pull up good morning, Remtac. Uh Healthy Nut. I love that name. This is a cool name. I'm welcome to the channel. All right, so yeah, I mean, popcorn goes pop. Let's see here. What There's something I was gonna look up. Let me check out this ticker real quick. GSAT. Let's check it out. Amex. Utilization. So you said this is heavily shorted, or did you ask if it was heavily shorted? Let me see. You said I own GSAT before AMC. I believe GSAT is a penny stock, heavily shorted too. Could you check GSAT if that's okay? So you said it's heavily shorted. I'm not seeing the short interest is not very high, but that doesn't mean that it's not being shorted. There's the short interest over time moving. On-loan average age per day, I'm going to guess is pretty low on this. Guys, look at this. Look at this huge drop on this indicator. And it's not 15 days before, it's actually quite a bit of time before on this one. Every single stock's a little bit different on their timing for this indicator. AMC is about 15 days. Some of them are much shorter, like 5 days. It's just I think it probably depends a lot on how there's a lot of different factors that cause why this indicator would signal. Some stocks actually have this signal show up late. But you can see the first dip right here. You can see the first price increase right here, a secondary dip with a secondary increase, and then a massive dip right here, leading into the eventual run up. But this is why I love on loan average age per day. It's a huge indicator for knowing when price increases are going to come. But I'm guessing if we look at on loan amounts, yeah, they're just kind of trucking away here. There's a little dip right here. Here's your price run up. But more importantly, you said it's heavily shorted. And I'm going to say this. Is it? Is it heavily shorted? How do you know? What's one of the best ways to find out if a stock is heavily shorted? And I'm gonna it's the same. I hold my standard on any ticker. I hold this to be true. Take your 3-month average volume, divide it by your free float. Their average 3-month volume is 6.37 divided by their free float of 731.44. That stock is not heavily shorted at all. it's actually less short. It might almost be less shorted than Amazon. No, it is. It is definitely less shorted than Amazon. I'm not seeing the kind of volume that would indicate that this stock is being shorted. So if it's in a price decline, then it's probably natural. I would check OBS on this just to verify to see if there actually was a decline on OBS or OBV. I'm sorry, I said OBS, I meant OBV. If on balance volume is in a decline with this price reduction right here, then I would say that it's natural. But based on this volume here, it is not heavily shorted. Good old boys, good morning to you, sir. And James, thank you. I've been dealing with skin cancer since I was 16 years old. So I'm no stranger to it. If any of you all ever happen to run into a situation where you get skin cancer, it's like really, really scary at first. Um, and it's probably terrible for me to say that you shouldn't fear it. But it does depend on what kind of stage you're in or how you're where you're at with the skin cancer. But try not to freak out. More than anything, just try not to freak out because it's not something to freak out about. I mean, it is, but it isn't at the same time. Once you start dealing with it, um, you'll be better off. And that's actually my dad passed away from cancer a couple years back. And I think his started from skin cancer, but I think he waited too many years to get it taken care of. So if you got funky looking moles or stuff like that, man, go get them checked out. Don't wait. It's better to take care of it before it gets out of control, before it's too late. You want to enjoy your MOASS money, don't you? Go get your moles checked out. Don't wait. I don't know what RSO is. I unfortunately have a genetic condition though, Remtac, that might make it puts me into a very rare population, apparently rare enough to put me into studies um, that I didn't want to be a part of. But um, it might not work for me. I have a genetic issue, not it's not quite the same. AP, good morning, sir. Thank you, James. Yeah, I'll be all right. I have to go back in I'm supposed to go in like twice a year, for checkups on the skin cancer stuff. I've kind of gotten to the point to where I get tired of them cutting me up all the time. So I tend to, since I kind of know what it is I'm looking for, I tend to do self-diagnosis on different spots. And so whenever I have something that looks weird or abnormal, I go in and have them check it out, and then they usually remove stuff. But if because of my condition and because of the genetic uh, predisposition for me to easily get cancer, I don't, every time I go in, they put me under the knife. And so if you imagine this, imagine going in to see the dermatologist once every 6 months, and they want to cut you up every 6 months. It gets old. It gets really, really old. And sometimes you have to find a fine balance between living life and being under the knife. Um, so I feel like I've found that balance. Um, but what I'm doing is kind of dangerous. It could be a little dangerous, it could get out of hand. It was atypical, not topical, atypical. RSO is a cannabis product made for skin cancer. I see. I don't know if it's going to help the genetics though. It's a sticky, gooey black oil that is almost tar-like in consistency. You can usually find RSO packaged in syringes for easier oral, and it cuts off right there. I can't read the rest of it. Rick Simpson oil. Hmm, very interesting. I'll have to take a look at that. Keto, thank you for the price prediction, sir. 1313 to 1613. Let's see. I should probably take a look at price predictions here. Got about, what, half hour more? Let's see what's going on here. Where are we going to go? The options, so max pain did increase from 16 to 1650. So I have reason to believe that we could see some upwards movement. Market's down in the pre-market. Where's it going to go? Where is it going to go? Maybe I'm going to say 1450. I'm going to go 1417. Let me do some calculations real quick here. Um, '19. That work. I'm actually going to change it to 1425. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure. 6. I'm going to do 1420 to 1720. Uh-oh. Democrats have finally admitted that Hunter Biden's laptop is real. What about the content on it? There's no way. There's no way Remtac could be Jay Ingram. And if he is Jay Ingram, I would be so excited because I really think Jay Ingram. Don't you dare mess with Jay Ingram, DJ. I will back that man up every day of the week. That is a sweet man. Don't you dare stomp on my Jay Ingram. Don't you dare. Because if Remtac is Jay Ingram, I'm gonna love that. Monty, I never knew. I guess I don't really know what content was on the computer. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. I don't know if not that the content is real, but what I'm asking is what content was there? Was there incriminating content to the point to where it's? I know there was incriminating content for Hunter, but I don't know what other content there was on there. You know what, Monty? I don't care. I still like Jay Ingram, man. I still like Jay. It's like going after Mr. Rogers. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. I don't, I wouldn't necessarily take, you know, you take him with a grain of salt, but he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. He's good. He's a good man. Crypto says 2 weeks. I don't have any cats. I don't think we can ever get any. My wife is allergic. Okay, so there was an email saying Joe Biden took bribes but used his son as the bagman. Gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty much like this. I don't remember the. I remember there being pictures with specific people that were, I guess, mm, from Russia, I guess. But I don't remember. I don't remember any. And I remember there being some pictures of him doing drugs or something like that, and prostitutes or something. But that's the extent of all the stuff that I remember. Fred Rogers was a saint, 100%. That's why I'm saying Jay Ingram is also a saint. I think that man is. I think he's also very. Um, he's a very. He's an innocent man. No, we're not screw. I like cats. I like dogs too. Hunter Biden is Joe Biden's son, the president's son. Yeah, that works. Did we hit 1569 on the way up here? I just gotta make sure. Tracking my data, and I want to make sure that 1569, 1561. Why did I get 1569? Did we hit 1569 somewhere? Here it is. Okay, so we did hit 1569. That's our new top, which was 21.4% up from the bottom of 1292. You know, Monty, I can't honestly remember the last time I've seen a Jay Ingram video. Remember, what you put in here is what you get out. But I love the man to death. I love the man to death, but I don't go there for my information. But Donkey Kong said somewhere out there there's a kid whose mom was a stripper, dad was a crackhead, and grandfather is the president of the United States. Dang. Dang. I agree, but Donkey Kong. Cats are more jerks with catnip than they are without it. I really wish I knew. It is that catnip is just so weird on cats. Um, I've never seen anything quite like it. And actually, I don't know why I've never thought about this before, but has anybody, um, why has I haven't seen the Jackass the newest movie. I don't, it's not particularly something I would pay for, but you know, in the previews they show this dude where they like pour honey all over him and then open up like a door for a bear to come in. Now you never actually see the bear, but But what I want to know is why haven't they ever done the same thing but put like catnip all over a, the dude's body, like covered in catnip, and then let a tiger in? You're gonna let come on. You know, I'm wondering because I'm feeling like catnip probably works on tigers just as well as it works on cats. Uh, that's gotta be now that I would watch. Honey and a bear, nah, that's child's play. You need catnip and a tiger. That's that's really what you that's what you really need. Now that's worth watching. That's entertainment. Oh, keto? Maybe that's why I'm living so long. I do multi-day fasts all the time. Uh, oh man, I never skip a meal. See, I knew Remtac would at least appreciate that. Bears, I'm not even kidding. A bear's child's play compared to a tiger on catnip. Remtac's like, you had me at chokers. Actually, yesterday, I didn't eat breakfast or lunch. And when we went out to that bowling alley slash fun center place, they had this burger. Let me see if I can look this up. I got to show you this picture of this burger that I had. I actually shared it with my son because I don't think I could have eaten it on my own. Even missing 2 meals yesterday, I don't think I could have eaten this on my own. Pin Stack. That's the name of the place. $20 burger. That's what it was called. I'm gonna show you guys a picture of this thing. It's a monster. I think this is it right here. Yep, this is it. So this is what me and my son ate yesterday. So we split it right down the middle. It's got bacon wrapped jalapenos. There's some kind of sausage. It didn't, the one, when they brought it out, it wasn't, the sausage wasn't as nice looking as these fine pieces of meat here. And then one patty, an onion ring, and another patty, and then another, and then the bun. We split this right down the middle. Each of us ate our own half. And first off, I don't know how I managed to scrunch this down enough to be able to get bites out of it. I really feel like you're supposed to pull the poppers and the sausage out maybe, and then just let the bun drop down on this portion of it. But man, that was a decent burger. My son didn't think it was that great. I thought it was good. I don't know what's going on with my taste buds as I'm getting older here, but I think they're dying. I think they're dying because I just read what Einstein said. Yes, cholesterol. I mean, I skipped breakfast and lunch, Einstein. I was a hungry guy, but oh man, it was good though. It was super good. I actually managed to get a full bite out of all those things together. Oh man, 2 weeks, bro. I used to get the Baconator all the time. I had to stop. It was too much. That one can be nasty. That Baconator will kill you. Don't judge. Don't judge me. Stop stop judging me, Einstein. You only live once. Have you guys been to Vegas and had Heart Attack? What is that place called? Heart Attack Grill? Heart Attack Burger? Heart Attack Grill is the name of the place in Vegas. It's off of it's in the old in the old downtown Las Vegas area. And this burger, I'm gonna show you a picture. I didn't have this one, but this is, oh my gosh. I don't even know if I should show you guys this. This is not for the faint of heart. This could give you a heart attack just looking at it. I'm gonna drag it over here in just a second, but this literally could give you a heart attack just looking at this beast. Why? Just why? That thing is a monster, and yeah, those. I don't even know why. I don't know why anybody would put themselves through something like that. We did go to the restaurant though, and we ate one. We ate a much smaller burger than that. Food porn, but it's of a different kind. I didn't eat that one. I did not eat that one. I ate a completely smaller burger. Boris is like, I can feel my heart slowing down just looking at it. No, they did not let me eat free 2 weeks. Come on, man. I'm not that heavy. I'm not even close. Not even. You'd have to stack like four of me on there to get there. Remtac, do you like my holy smoke saying? Is that a favorite of yours? I don't know where I get it from. You have to have some kind of drink to get something like that down. That's for sure. Jeff said, "Oh my God, my arteries just closed." I'm not kidding you. They named it the heart attack. You know what's funny is that I think the owner of that restaurant what used to be a personal trainer, and he got so frustrated with people um, not listening to him to get healthy in life that he decided to create a restaurant where they made burgers that were just absolutely unhealthy for you to prove a point, I think. And it ended up being absolutely a hit. People absolutely loved it, and he thought it was absolutely insane that people were just like going nuts over unhealthy food, but it was really popular. I think it's called the Heart Attack Grill. Thurman Burger, Columbus, Ohio. I'm gonna look it up. We got some time left here. And oh, that's the Man versus Food one. I remember that. I'm pretty sure I remember this. The look on this guy's face. That thing's a monster. It's got ham on it. Looks like there's some shrooms, bacon, normal fixins. Honestly, like why put tomato and lettuce on something like this? I mean, because at that point you're too far gone. you're, you're not worth saving for vegetables at this point. Like, just don't. It's a no. It's definitely a hard no. I have no idea where I get the holy smokes from, Remtac. I really don't know where I got that from. I picked it up from somewhere, but I think it was when I was younger. Einstein's like the veggies might help you on the back end of that. they're they're uh they're they're separators. Ooh, Johnny Rocket burgers are pretty decent. In Arizona, we used to go to one over there by the stadium, the new football stadium. Well, I say new now, but it's been a decade. I hadn't thought about this. It's been a decade since I lived in Arizona, and I say new football stadium. It's been a decade. I feel old now. Man, I completely forgot. It's a Virginia thing. Now that makes sense, Monty, because I actually did live in Virginia back when my dad used to smoke a lot in Virginia. So maybe that's where I get it from. That actually makes a lot of sense. That entirely could be exactly where I picked it up from. Justin's like trying to get us back on track here. We can talk about that, Justin. I've got a half hour before I do the first and last. I'm going to end the show early today, guys. I've decided to take a spring day break with the kids. So after I do the first analysis at 10 a.m. Eastern or 9 a.m. Central, I'm going to end the show. And if something crazy happens, excuse me, I'll come back, restart it up, and we can talk and stuff. But I'll tell you what, Justin, I like your idea. After market opens, we'll talk about what it is that you want to talk about here, leading into the first set of numbers for the day, and then I'll end the show. Thank you for putting us back on track, Justin. My price prediction for the day is 14.20 to 17.20. Keto has 13.13 to 16.13. Monty has 14.13 to 17.13. And we don't have, Eric usually sends it to me right at market open, so I don't have his just yet, and I usually read his like right after the market opens. Hey, I appreciate you guys understanding. You know, I'm looking at volume right now, and I already had a volume prediction for the day at 10 to 30 million shares. Yesterday was 10 to 30 million share volume prediction. We're kind of falling right in line with about what we had for volume yesterday. Actually, it seems like it might even be a little bit lower. So yesterday we ended up 24 million shares having been traded for the day. So expect somewhere maybe almost right around 20 to 25-ish range. But the prediction I give myself 20 spreads, so 10 to 30 million. Thanks, guys. I'm not leaving yet. You still got me for like another, just a little over half hour. But I kind of woke up this morning and I looked at the volume and I was kind of like, this is the last day for spring break that the kids have off from school. I mean, they do have the weekend, but why not give myself a 3-day weekend and spend some time with the family since they do have this time off? Active says, how does this fall into the suck, squeeze, bang, blow? So most of the time, I mean, it puts if we were in the cycle, if we're truly indeed in the cycle, it would put us in the we're still in the squeeze portion. So we haven't hit the bang yet. No bang, because the definition for squeeze is that price relatively remains about the same, which we have been. We have dipped down a couple times to some lower numbers that would kind of deviate away from what I would expect, but we're relatively staying about the same price, and we're seeing reduction in volume. And that's usually the springing action that we have into, or the explosive action that we have that leads into the bang or the blow. So we can pull that up and look at that too in a little bit here. Let me go ahead and start the intro for the data, guys. I'll see you on the other side of market open.
T-minus 90 seconds and counting. All systems are go. We're about 90 seconds from the launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. T-minus 60 seconds and counting. We are transferring to orbiter internal power at this time. Discovery is now running off its 3 onboard fuel cells. Coming up on a go for auto sequence start. And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. T-minus 17 seconds and counting. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
separation confirmed. Guidance now converging. Discovery's onboard computers commanding the main engine nozzles to swivel, aiming the shuttle for its precise target in space for main engine cutoff.
Should have a good forward link now and
Dan, you sound good.
Discovery Houston, negative return.
Copy, negative return.
Good morning, you filthy apes. Welcome to AMC and ADD, where we buy, we hold, and we screw the hedgies. Screw those hedgies! For those of you who don't know, a long time ago, when we first started this show together, this used to be one of the songs that I would play as price was moving upwards after the intro. I didn't pick a song today because when I first got on, I decided that today was going to be one of those days where I took some time off. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the show after the first look at numbers for the day today in about a half hour. So we'll end the show at around 9:15 my time, or basically like 45 minutes from now. I don't know, I just kind of had a nostalgic moment and was like, you know what, let's just go back to the old days and play some music. So, just curious, out of all you guys who are here, or apes that are here right now, how many of you remember that? There may only be a couple. Maybe nobody. That'd be kind of surprising if nobody remembers that. It's been a long time. Let's talk about what. Let me scroll back up here. Why can't I find it now? Oh, Justin said, let's talk about MOASS, percentage drops, reading volume, how to know when people are selling. Let's study for the test. I like it. Let's do it. So first of all, what are two of the key things that I look for to know when the market is selling? Believe it or not, selling does create volume. So when selling stops, when buying and selling stops, because somebody has to buy when there's somebody selling, when buying and selling stops, volume starts to decrease. So that's one of your first indicators that the wave of pressure moving upwards is starting to slow down. Is it possible for there to be a second wave? In other words, could you have a wave of volume going upwards and then a decrease and then some more volume going further upwards? Absolutely. This is why it's so important to have two indicators, not just one, to signal for the end or the top of the squeeze. Because if you just base it off of day over day volume, then you could be psyched out on the way up. So the second indicator that I really am looking for is dip size over dip size decreasing. Typically speaking, when that first volume dip occurs, because I do expect there to be a volume dip along the way up, when that volume dip occurs, there's going to be a big dip in in price, a really big dip in price. What does it mean? It means that they're trying to get the most amount of paper hands out as possible. And GME's largest dip size that they saw percentage-wise, I'm going back to it to look at the model. The biggest percentage-wise dip that they saw was a 76.8% dip on 128. And it's when it dipped from $482.85 to $112.25 in the same day. When it dipped from 42 to 112, in the same day it went back up to $321.58. That is a massive dip, 76.8% dip in price. The rip was 186.5% up. My dog is going nuts. All right. There's definitely going to be periods of time where we're going to see that. Now, where was the dip at on that? That was on the 28th. That would have been that was after the peak. The peak occurred on the 28th at $514.50. From $514.50, it went down to $249.73. And then it went back up to $482.85, and then down to $112, then back up to $321, then back down to $193, and then your next dip size. So this is where it starts getting smaller. You have a 76.8% here. I'm just going to throw it up on the screen for you guys to see. It'll be much easier for me to do that. Make sure you guys can see this. So this might be hard for you guys to read, but this is the point right here. Here's the top, 514. It goes down to 249, goes back up to 482, goes back down to 112. Dip size over dip size decreasing, 51% to a 76%. The next dip is only 39%. It goes from a 76.8% dip to a 39.8% dip. That's dip size over dip size decreasing. During that same period of time, volume over volume was decreasing as well. Buying on your way back up to $437 is the key. That's the key. Now, there would have also been indicators to have bought on the rise up to 482 as well, but it would have been kind of meh. Like it would have been questionable. Like, do I buy now or not? Or I mean, sorry, do I sell now or not? It would have been very, very questionable. There is a period of time. There is a period of time on there where you probably could have made that decision, but it would have been in pre-market. And you would have had to have been looking at the numbers like I do every single morning and trying to predict what the volume is going to be for the day. And that's why it's so critical for us to check volume every single day and know exactly where volume is going to go, because if you can predict what volume is going to be, then you're a couple steps ahead of the rest of the game, and it can help you to decide whether or not you're going to exit your position. So whether or not you get whether or not you get something close to 482 makes the difference, because if you're predicting what the volume is going to be for the day, then you sell during that rise. If you don't know what the volume is going to be for the day, then you settle for something a little bit less. 42 versus 437. You're losing 50 bucks, which is, in the grand scheme of things, is a lot of money. But I guarantee you this is way better than you're going to do if you were trying to guess where you're going up on the front side, because it's just going to be really, really difficult to try and guess the top. So, having said that, what are some of the good ways to tell if people are selling? Fidelity orders. 100% fidelity orders. If you see selling ratios that are higher than buying ratios, yeah, then it's going to be pretty obvious. It's going to be pretty obvious that people are selling shares. What's another one you can look at? OBV. OBV is supposed to be read on a daily. So if you're seeing OBV dropping from one day to the next, then you're probably looking at a real sell-off. So I would highly recommend watching OBV during periods of time like that. Let me see if I have it pulled up on any of my, I do, I have it pulled up here. So just so you guys know, you can do this at home as well with TradingView, and I can show you how to set this up. I've already got OBV set up on mine on here, but I'm going to delete it and show you how to set it up on your own. So if you want to refer back to this as a moment, you can. So what you're going to do is you're going to come into indicators. You're going to type in OBV, on balance volume, select it. It's going to put it up down here at the very bottom of your screen. What you're going to do is you're going to select the triple dots over here, and actually before we do that we have to move it to the pane just below where the price action is, and since I have vortex indicator in here, I'm going to move it up one. So now once you come over here to the triple dots, you can say move to existing pane above. So now you have OBV in here as an indicator with your price. And you can see that when OBV is dropping, let me put it on the daily here. When OBV is dropping on the daily, this is meant to be a daily indicator. When this indicator is dropping, there's definitely people who are selling. Now it's not, you don't know who, you don't specifically know who's selling, but somebody is. And you can see that price is dropping down way more here. Like if I were to line up price with volume, on balance volume right here, you can see that nobody was selling right here when price dipped as much as it did. Price rose back up and met the volume balance. It's going to resize it. So when I told you guys back in November that somebody had sold shares, this is how I knew. Look at that massive drop right there in OBV that matches the price line. Somebody was definitely selling at this period of time. We ended up finding out later that it was institutions. I told you guys it was institutions, and I told you it was going to be reported in the first quarter, at the end of the first quarter, and we would see it, and it would end up being FUD. They would say, oh, people sold off their position. No. It wasn't retail. Retail had very good buy to sell orders during that period of time. We bought this dip. So then you can see them buying back in at a lower quantity of volume. Price is moving well with the volume, and then all of a sudden you see a drop again here, but it's not in accordance to where the volume is at. The on balance volume is not dipping as much as price is right here, which tells me that we're still holding through this. Somebody sold. There's been some selling going on in here, but for the most part, we're holding through this. If you draw a line right across here, we're on both sides of this line. So this is on balance volume is a great indicator to look at to see if somebody's selling or not. The question you have to ask yourself is who's selling? Who's selling, and is it large quantities? And you can figure that out by looking at wait, can you guys see this? Okay, good. You can figure that out by looking at the order book, or looking at like Fidelity to see, are we having buy or sell orders dominating the books? That's a great way to look at it. Now, of course, it's just orders. It's not actual shares, but it's still going to be a reflection of what's going on. It was actually Jeff, it was BlackRock, Vanguard, and Jane Street Group, and I have the evidence for it. If you want me to link it to you, I can. I've already posted it. And it wasn't New Year's Day. There was a large order that was sold on New Year's Day. It was actually right at the very end of the business day on December 31st. If I had to guess who that was, it might have been Jane Street Group that did that. It might have actually, I think it was several institutions. They're going to try and get their tax write-offs, so it was more than just one, I'm sure. But I have the proof if you want to see it, and I can link it to you. Yeah, not a problem. I haven't updated Ortex yet, but give us about 13 more minutes. I'm going to update everything and we'll see where we're at. Justin, did you have any questions in regards to that? And then also, Active was asking about Suck, Squeeze, Bang, Blow. I haven't been updating on a regular basis since 3.3, so I'm going to need to pull that over in order to update, or I can just update it on my side and then pull it over and show it to you guys. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to update it on the side and then pull it over real fast. It shouldn't take me too long. Let's see, 3.3 was the last time I recorded the data. So actually, after having looked at this data now, and I'm just now seeing it, I can tell you right now that we're looking for a very specific price because we entered into this phase at $16.86. So we're kind of hinging off of 1686. When we break past like 1850-ish, that's going to be the real big push. And I can just tell just by looking at these numbers right here. I'm almost done here. Just give me a second more. Okay. So this happens to be one of the largest, by far one of the largest bang phases that we've ever seen. And we entered into the bang phase at $16.86. And the rule for this period is that we're supposed to try and, the price should stay relatively close to this price. Now we've hit as high as $19.67 since then. But we've also hit a low. Our biggest low on here was 1430, I think. So 1680, 17, 18, 19. We almost hit $3 up. 15, 14. We never hit. Oh, we hit 1356. Yeah, so we've been $3 plus or minus on either side of 1686. So what we really need to see have happen is break that like $3 trend. Somewhere we got to break that trend on the upside. So that's what we're looking for, but we're also looking for volume um, to add into addition to that. So we're looking to break $20. $20 is the number. I said 19 earlier, but it would be about $20 is what we would need to break. Once we break through 20, we should see some pretty amazing volume. Oops. So this will give you, this is basically showing us we had a 12.4% increase in price on the 24th. That's one of our biggest price increases. Nope, I'm sorry, 15.28% on 2.9 and a 10.19 on 2.8. We are not that much further down. We're only like what, a buck and a half down from 1680. Yeah. So we're really kind of close to that middle section. So if we saw like a big run up, that might get us the first run up. We might get us to that point that we would need to get to be at like 19ish. Not a whole lot of volatility in volume, but volume is definitely falling. The highest amount of volume volatility that we had was on the 24th, where we had an 80% jump in volume day over day. There was a 72% up in volume on the 7th, no, the 8th. But day over day, guys, we had a 39% drop in volume from the 16th to the 17th. It's pretty big. Let me go back and see if we had any other times where it was like that. Yep. There's a 50% on this one. This phase here was pretty quick. Here's a 33% right here as well in the bang. 48%. Here was a 68% drop just before moving into the next phase. But again, yeah, this one as well, the 29%, 64% drops in volume. Again, this is not trying to predict the future. That's not what the suck, squeeze, bang, and blow is about. It's just to kind of let you know where we're at in one of these cycles. And this is by far one of the largest bangs we have had in the historical tracking that I've done on this since last year. I think we're getting close to seeing a volume pop. $61 down, 19% down, 18% down, 8% down, and then pop. 72, 48, 31. 20% down, 29% down, pop, 59% up. Yeah, we may be in store for a volume pop here. Yeah, we can take a look at Ichimoto, Brian. We got a couple minutes left. Ray, I can't. I mean, I just 2 weeks. I hate doing that to somebody who's got a new name in here. I haven't seen Ray in here before, but I don't have I don't have a date. I can tell you this, Ray. I thought for sure we would squeeze last year, right? And we did. We did have a squeeze in June of last year, but it wasn't to the extent of what I would have thought. Part of that because we did have shares that were sold into the marketplace when the squeeze was starting to occur. But as far as predictions go, it's hard for me to say exactly when. It was 13 on this drop down here. It was the lowest that we went. It was 1356. Yeah, I have it on the. I had TTM squeeze on here, but I didn't like it very much, Gary. I think it's kind of meh. It's just kind of. It doesn't really help me very much. It kind of groggy styles. I hope that was a typo. We're gonna have to start. I'm gonna have to let him know that that it's easy to mistype his name as Groggy Styles. That's pretty funny. I think. Hopefully he gets a laugh out of that. Um, that is. I don't. I really. You have to tell me, Gary. Was that a typo or not? Because it's funny. Let's take a look at the Ichimoto real quick. What I have to say though, Gary, as far as the TTM squeeze, I had it up here and then I took it out because quite honestly, like it doesn't feel like to me like it's very predictive. I do like the new TDS or TD sequential, just because it kind of feels like a an indicator that I've used in the engineering field. That's similarly known as the Western Electric Rules for statistical process control, where when you have 7 points running in a certain direction or above or below a target point, then you have a trend that's bad. That's a bad trend, and it tells you you're going to have a correction or you need a correction. And so here's one of those right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Almost all 9 of these points above your simple moving average. Here's a correction back down. It was it was perfect timed. I mean, it shows it to you. It shows it to you. In fact, we're probably gonna get another one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Two more candlesticks going up like this, and we'll probably get another one of those indicators. Some guy went off yesterday at the end of his show. Wow, that sucks. All right, let me take a look at the Ichimoto real quick here because I know it's 9:01 and it's time to do the numbers, so I'm just gonna look at it real fast. On the 1 hour. Well, is this right? Am I looking at the right stock here? Am I on the right stock? Holy crap. When did this happen? When did we pass over on the 1 hour? I must, wait a minute. I'm so confused. When did we pass? Have I not looked at this for like several days or something? Because I feel like we were like well below the cloud. Last I looked at this has it been like 3 days since I looked at this? Holy crap. Um, this actually became a very strong buy signal back here. Because you can see the conversion lines above. Am I really on the right stock? What's going on here? I don't believe I'm on the hour. Let me just make sure I'm set up right here because wow, that's crazy. Okay, so the conversion line's been above the baseline since back here on the 15th. Price rose through the cloud. Your first signal for buying was when price should have been above the conversion line. Now, they very quickly pushed the conversion line back here down, and you can see the lagging line is touching the price line right now, but now it just jumped up and above. This this moment that we're in right here, the conversion line fell down below the baseline, but is now crossing the baseline. This point where we're at right now is actually a very strong buy signal. Moving into this next hour, because the lagging line is above the price line, you have your conversion line crossing over your baseline here. It's already above it. This is a buy. This is a buy signal at $15.90. Am I looking at this right? Damn, that's crazy. This is a strong buy. This is a very strong buy on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour because day traders may look at this and go like, all right, this is close. Let's see if it's really where it needs to be. But price would need to remain above, where's conversion? 1536. As long as price remains above 1536 over the next hour, it's a strong day trading buy. On the 4 hour, moving into the cloud. So this is where it becomes a point of uncertainty. Typically, you would not want to buy in the cloud. So the price is moving, the conversion line has moved above the baseline, which means it's starting to become a buy signal, but price is moving into the cloud, so you would hold off and not make this buy. You'd want to see the price move above and beyond the upper limits here. And so for next Monday, by the end of the day, it would be $16.18 is what we would need to be above for it to be a strong buy on this signal. And you can see the lagging line back here is crossing the price line, the price movement. The lagging line is sitting right on top of it, smack dab on top of the price line. So that will be moving across and up and over as price moves up, continues to move up. So this could be a buy for somebody, right? Like if somebody were to look at the 1 hour on this and say, okay, but we're not in the cloud yet, I might want to hold off and see if we go above the cloud, or I could try to maximize earnings by buying now, waiting for it to get into the cloud, and then making a decision in the cloud as to whether this can continue to move upwards or not. So it's kind of like we're at a crucial price point right now. Remaining above 1530 would be ideal. What did I say? 15? Yeah, 1536 is kind of the ideal number that we want to stay above. There's our 9 point right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's calling for a reversal, which means we'll probably come back down, test the simple moving average, which is at 1548. Depending on whether there's a lot of buy pressure or sell pressure, will determine whether we continue to go further down or rebound off of the simple moving average and continue to move up. All right, let's take a look at our numbers. And Micah, I appreciate it. I appreciate the comment. Casey's trying to get the day off, and boom. I, I told you guys, excuse me, I told you guys that if something happens, I'll come back. If something happens, I'll come back and I'll start the show back up. But let's go ahead and take a look at our numbers here. We haven't gone through the numbers. Let me log back into Fidelity, take a look at the numbers, and I'm gonna end the show for the day. You guys are like, no, no, you have to stay now. If something crazy happens, I'll be here. I'll be here. I'll come back. Don't you worry. I'm not leaving you guys high and dry. But I'm gonna, it is spring break, and I'm gonna spend some time with the family. I think it's the right thing to do. Taking you guys to the other side. $223 of the show. I should listen. Oh, I should go to the show from yesterday and listen to the show and see what's said. Okay, 223. I'll go check it out after I end the show, Gary, because it sounds like it's juicy. Price prediction tallies. Monty, Eric's going for his third straight week in a row of price predictions being correct. Let me tell you what his price prediction, because I didn't look at it until just now. At the market open, he texted me and said 15 to 18. We have a three-way tie. Whoever gets closest to for the average price to the average price for closing will break the tiebreaker. I've got 14.2 to 17.2. Eric has 15 to 18, and Monty has 14.13 to 17.13. So Monty and I are splitting hairs. Eric's got a bit of a position ahead of us. If all of us end up being wrong and we finish lower than 14, Monty's 14.13, and Keto would be the only one who would get a point. It would probably be Keto who would end up winning the week. So just throwing those numbers out at you guys. Do not make financial decisions based off of what we're deciding is going to be price prediction for the day, because we are always wrong. Not always. Eric's been right almost 15 days in a row now, especially if he gets today right. Short exempt volume was way down yesterday, 23.4 thousand only. Utilization still at 100%, now day 27 straight days. Almost as long. Eric's almost been right on price predictions since we've had utilization at 100%. Day over day price increase. Let me tell you something interesting. I asked Eric about this. I said, Eric, I think I sense a little something funky about your price predictions. He came over to my house. I said, I think you're taking the price from the closing previous day and you're hedging off of that on either side by $1.50. And he kind of smiled a little bit and he goes, something really close to that. And I was like, you're cheating, man. I'm like, you're cheating. That's too easy. That's too easy. You're going to get caught one of these days when the price jumps on you, or either direction moves up or down. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I know his dirty little secrets now. Day over day price increase yesterday was down 0.26%, and off exchange. Let's take a look at it. Normally around this time of the morning, we would see off exchange around 43%. It's low, 41.74. That tells me they're letting it run right now. That's what it looks like to me. And the CBOE EDGX is way down. So price discovery is not being hidden. That's the reason it's running up. Wait for the aha. The aha is going to come. Aha, gotcha. That's what they're going to do. The rug is here, and you can see it in the numbers. Off exchange being low, CBOE EDGX being low. They've got more. They have the ability to suppress price more than they are currently doing. So somebody's letting this run for a reason. 1650 is max pain, so it could be long institutions that are not hiding price discovery as much so that they can try and get most of the contracts out of the money as possible. Taking a look at Vortex, let's give it an update. Borrowed change. So far this morning, they have borrowed, or they've returned 68,000 shares. That's not really going to do much to the estimated current short share interest of the free float, which is currently at 21.23%. Our cost to borrow max is 2.32, so a little bit lower than we've seen over the last 2 days. Cost to borrow min is at 0.51, pretty low. Institutional share ownership. Top right hand side of the screen, 187.831 million shares. I'm going to refresh it. I don't expect to see too much of a change. We're still in that kind of like 13F. We're not filing any 13Fs because it's not that time of the season yet. So institutional share ownership tracking very, very close to, nope, exactly the same numbers that we had earlier this morning. Max pain for the day is 16.5. It rose from yesterday's 16. Let's take a look at volume. Highest amount of volume for the calls at a $16 strike price. Yesterday the high was 15.5 for calls, now it's 16. There is a total of 14.9 thousand contracts, which is very high, extremely high. This is where that rug pull is going to happen, like just before 16. It's there. There's a high amount of call options at 15.5. There's 12.6 thousand contracts, so there might be some money to be made there. Not a whole lot. On the puts, highest amount of volume at a $15 strike price. There's 5.3 thousand contracts. The spread between volume today signaling for a close somewhere between $15 and $16. Let's take a look at Ortex. Utilization. Oops. 27 straight days looks like that. On loan amount, still shooting up. We had a 1 million increase in shares on loan day over day from 134.27 to 135.22. That's 1 million shares shouldn't be enough to lower the on loan average age per day, and it didn't when we looked at it earlier. It actually did increase, which it should. They have to borrow more than 1 million shares to get a decrease in this value. And the estimated short share interest of the free float also rising. Orders by Fidelity customers, GME is number 2. GME is number 2 in orders. Somebody says everybody's leaving GME to come to AMC. I don't know who said that this morning, and I'm not sure if it was, asking or telling. I'm not sure which, but not based off these numbers. I don't see it. GME is absolutely driving up in volume. They're the second highest traded stock on Fidelity with 77% buys to 23% sales. They are looking spectacular. AMC, 20th, with a 62% buy to 38% sell ratio. Oops. I just noticed HYMC's in here. 17th with 59% buys to 41% sales. Since I know we're interested, since I know we're interested in that stock, I will, when I see it, I'll read it. Let's see here. What's next? SSR trigger price for the day today is at $13.67. Shares available to borrow. The ones that were borrowed this morning have been returned. Looks like they borrowed an additional 50K-ish here. So it looks like they've only borrowed about 50,000 shares since earlier this morning. That's going to put us at 1.3 million shares borrowed for the day today. Yesterday it was 2.75. The fees are still at 1.3%. 37,000 contracts are in the money on the calls. 117.4 thousand contracts are out of the money on the puts. This number is under 400K. Yay! That's like so high. The Nasdaq is up 0.76, Dow Jones is down 0.25, the S&P 500 is breaking even. The market has 4,372 advancers to 3,199 decliners. The VIX is down 1.25, IWM is up 0.42, Tesla is up 2.61, Amazon is up 0.09, Cinemark is down 0.61, Doge is down 0.56, Bitcoin is down 0.59, GME is up 1.89, HYMC is up 2.18, Hood is up 0.93, and AMC is up 2.34. Our inflow versus outflow is about a $2 million spread with more outflow than inflow. We've traded 8.8 million shares in the last 48 minutes. Looks like we're on pace for about 71.5 million shares for the day today, but of course that's going to lower throughout the day since the most elevated portion of volume that we usually have is in the beginning half and the last half of the day. So I'm only predicting in volume for the day today, guys, at about 10 to 30 million shares. Something very similar, maybe slightly more than what we had yesterday. No, I say false, Dr. Zeno. They could suggest that all they want, and I'm not trying to be rude, but this is your security lending volume here, spiking the day that utilization went up. The shares are on loan. They're absolutely on loan, 100%. That's why. And so when I tell you the kitchen sink's out there, it is. How do I know? Because utilization's still at 100%. If utilization was going down, these security loaned shares wouldn't be out there. So 100%, the reason for utilization at 100% has nothing to do with that. It's these loan shares. So that buy sell is orders. 2 weeks. It's not shares. It's orders. So think of it as it's just fidelity. But Fidelity does have a pretty good stake in this, and so I think it's a good sampling of what the overall retail investors are doing as far as their money, where they're putting it, or whether they're putting it into or taking it out of AMC. But if it's just orders, you can't tell if they're you can't tell the quantity of the shares being bought or sold within each order. So it is possible that you could have, say, for example, 60-40 buy to sell ratio and actually have more shares being sold than bought. It would be possible. In fact, it could be possible to have a 99% buy to a 1% sell and still have more shares sold than bought. And the reason is that there could be uh, just throw random numbers out, but there could be 5 million shares bought in those 99% orders, and the one person who sold may have had 6 million shares or 5 million and one shares to sell. So that's it's orders, not shares. But the reason that I say 60-40 all the time is that I think that 60-40 is a good enough spread. It's a 20% spread between buy orders and sell orders, and I think that would make up enough to probably counter the amount of sell orders that are going through, regardless of their size. So that's why I like to see 60-40 or better. Anything less than 60-40, and you have a good chance that there's sell orders that are outpacing buy orders in quantity of shares. Dude, Gary, you're not the only one. My wife said the same thing. She said the exact same thing. She said that he looked like an older Tobey Maguire. That's so weird that you say that. She said the exact same thing. Check it out, Casey. Froggy is Spider-Man. Where do I check it out at? Oh, wait. Did you send it to me in a tweet? Let me see it. Oh, I don't see a tweet. Yeah, you're right, Thick. It's time to go. Are you guys ready for this? Are you ready? Are you ready, kids? All right. Look at the pictures. Oh, did Froggy come in here and say something? Let me see. I can't see y'all's pictures all that well. If Froggy came in here and said something, I don't see it. Why am I so blind? I can't give. I actually gave out one that's for tonight, so I can't give another one until that one's gone, unfortunately. Einstein, thank you. I appreciate it. Adam, you too. Um, should I play an outro? I don't know if I should play an outro or not. It feels weird doing a rocket launch in the middle of the morning when it's not like closing time. I don't know what to do here. This is so odd, guys. Well, let's just do it. Let's just play a rocket launch and we'll end this show like we normally do. I guess just try to keep continuity. Adam wants In the Air tonight. All right, Adam, for you, I'll play it and we'll sign off the show with In the Air tonight. My guess, my price prediction for the close for the day-to-day legendary is 14.2 to 17.2. Let's do this. It's like pulling off a band-aid, guys. Eat, sleep, drink, get plenty of rest. You have a weekend to enjoy. Happy post St. Patrick's Day. Spend time with your family, spend time with your kids, spend time with your pets, spend time with your friends. Spend time with somebody. Do something fun this weekend. But above all else, don't have a good weekend. Have a great weekend.
T-minus 90 seconds and counting. All systems are go. We're about 90 seconds from the launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. T-minus 60 seconds and counting. We are transferring to orbiter internal power at this time. Discovery is now running off its 3 onboard fuel cells. Coming up on a go for auto sequence start.
Okay, let's go for auto sequence start.
And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. T-minus 17 seconds and counting. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
Separation confirmed. Guidance now converging. Discovery's onboard computers commanding the main engine nozzles to swivel, aiming the shuttle for its precise target in space for main engine cutoff.
Should have a good forward link now and then.
Okay, you sound good.
Discovery Houston, negative return.
Copy, negative return.
I can feel it with you.